Hello, my name is Carrie Hill, and the page I choose to analyze was from the book Last Stop on Marketplace, and the author's name was Matt D. La Piana, and Christina Robertson did the pictures. This is a book I think is very inspirational for children. It has such a great message. It's one of those books that if you look and listen and find the message, you'll see that you will find beauty within and not surrounding. And as a reader, this book invoked many feelings in me. The story was such a great reminder that you're not rich in the terms of money, that richness comes from kindness and compassion. And the page that was really a highlight, I thought was kind of represented the whole story, was towards the end of the book. And it read, CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors. Graffiti-tagged windows and boarded up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. How come it's always so dirty here? She smiled and pointed to the sky. Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness of what's beautiful. You know, that meaning go with so many ways, but I just thought that during the story that Nana encouraged CJ to use his eyes and his ears to celebrate the world around him. In her comment, sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness to what is beautiful. You know, most people see the beauty of nature. We see the oceans, the mountains, the skies, and the rainbows, as she pointed out, which you would see on the next page. But what she was really getting at, that even though there's all this external beauty, if you take the time to really notice, you will see the beauty within each person instead. You know, as on their trip, as they're going through town on the bus, you know, CJ saw his Nana with compassion, and she smiled at each and every person that came on the bus. It didn't matter if the person was a man filled with tattoos or the teenagers, and she even pointed out the guy who was blind. You know, she took the time to get to value each person with them. And CJ got to experience that. As CJ stepped off this bus, he was a frightened little boy. You know, he was scared of all this external that he saw. He grabbed his Nana's hand. That was a way for safety and comfort. But even though it might have been scary from seeing maybe the homeless and the broken down walls and barbed wire fences, she showed him there was this beautiful rainbow looking above. And if you just take the time to notice these things, that there's so much more to see in the world. You know, and once he did notice that, on the next page, he started to notice, even though the street lamp was broken, it still shined brightly. And there was a cat moving against the wall. He started noticing the beautiful things in the neighborhood besides what at first that he thought was scary. In this article called Teaching Children to See the Beauty in the Last Stop on Marketplace by Daily Fidge staff, talks about how the author who wrote this story grew up in a world of underprivilege, and as a child had no money and felt had no future. But in an interview, the author D. La Piana says, and I quote, I will always write about kids growing up with less. My own experience with poverty is the single most defining piece of my childhood. If my story creates empathy, great. But that's not exactly what I'm after. I just think the lives of children growing up in difficult circumstances are beautiful and worthy too. Truth is, these kids started a race of life way behind the pack. For me, the most interesting journey to follow is the child who's fighting to catch up. Even if he never gets there, his story is still so valid to me. De La Piana's goal was for everyone to notice the beauty within. No matter your social class or where you come from, if you take the time to notice, you will see that each person is unique and beautiful. I once was told, in order to truly be thankful for all the good I have in my life, I need perspective. Of course, I had no idea what perspective really meant, so I Googled it, and I read perspective is a way of seeing something and consider situations in a different point of view. Just like Nana teaching CJ how to look past the exterior of things and to look for the good of people and the world around him and look within. You know, I learned to look at my own circumstances through different lenses. I know I can't control past pains, but I can focus and be grateful for the blessings that I do have now. I no longer look for the evil within, and I look for the beauty of things inside. It's absolutely remarkable to see how the beauty within my heart, my mind, and my spirit does not come from the bank account and what I have. It's to see what surrounds me every day. You know, I take the time to get to know people. You know, I'm a preschool teacher, and I feel like each child is valued and unique, and I get to know them and respect them, and I think that's what the whole point of the story is just taking your time to get to know people and respect and value them, even if they're different from maybe your perspectives. And that was my thoughts on The Last Stop on Market Street.